All right, I don't know what it's like where you live, but where I live in Wisconsin, the weather. Seriously, I don't know whether I'm supposed to wear a t-shirt, whether I'm supposed to wear a sweater, whether I need to have a thick coat, a light coat, no coat, sandals, rain boots. I don't even know. I don't own rain boots, but if I did, I probably should have pulled them out the other day. Let me tell you. All of this to say that the weather has been back and forth and back and forth. And while that tends to be depressing because I would like it to just be nice spring weather, it has given me a chance to get some final use out of the more wintry scents that I just can't stop using, which has been great. But then also let me start thinking about what I want to wear for spring. So I know that we have passed the technical first day of spring, but like I said, here in the Midwest, like honestly, it takes a while. It takes a while for spring to really feel like it's here. So I'm going to go through 10 fragrances with you today that I think really blend that transition from season to season perfectly. And what I have here is 5 scents from what I would consider more of my winter vibes and 5 scents that are definitely more springy. So it's sort of like the ones from winter that I can't stop wearing and the ones from spring that I've already started pulling out, and that some of these I know that by summer I won't be able to wear them again. I also have kind of like an honorable mention or like a separate mention that I want to go through today. So 10 plus 1. That's what we have today. But if we haven't met before, my name is Kelly and I'm a professional hair and makeup artist, and here on my channel I strive to keep beauty real. Real honest, real relatable, and real fun. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, don't forget to click subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. All right, I'm just gonna let you know right now we have everything from some, I would say, designer, some niche, some more affordable, like one of these is like $14 right now, $14, y'all. We have some Middle Eastern. We have my most expensive fragrance purchase of 2024 in here. So we've got quite a bit. All right, we're gonna start off our list with Dylan from By Rosie Jane. This, I love it so much. Okay, so this for me is definitely a year-round scent. I also love that it's a great layerable. So good. So the notes of this are cedar, frankincense, and white musk. So if you think of, it's like the softest, creamiest, woodsy, slightly, I don't want to say spicy. If you know frankincense, somebody, like, how do you explain frankincense? A little bit almost resinous. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. Resinous and woody, but creamy and like light. It is so good. I mean, anytime you want to add some complexity to something, I think this could go with just about anything. Like I would add this to a fruity scent. I would add this to, you know, like kind of soften out heavier scents where like I put this on and then just a teensy spritz of something that has more to it. Oh, it's just so good. So I have this both in the perfume mist and in the perfume oil. I will say that the perfume oil definitely lasts longer, but obviously you can't like spray it on your clothes, which I think sometimes clothes, I love this one on clothes. Like give me a scarf with this on it. Anyway, I am definitely here for this today. It's been a while since I've done a fragrance video. I've kind of like reined it back. And I'm just so excited to be talking scents with all of you again. So if it seems like I'm possibly over caffeinated, well, actually that's probably true today, but it is more so just that I'm excited to be talking fragrances with all of you again. So this one right here, this is one that if this sounds like something that you would like, you're gonna wanna snag it soon because it's actually in the last chance section on the Dirty Soul Soap Company's website. So this is an indie fragrance brand. They do a lot of duping fragrances, I guess I would say. They do have a couple originals as well, but they dupe everything from designer fragrances to a lot of Bath & Body Works fragrances. And this is actually a Bath & Body Works dupe. Although I'm gonna tell you right now, if you haven't tried Dirty Soul Soap Company, I do have a couple videos with reviews on my channel here, so I'll make sure to have my last one linked down below. But the one thing that I love about this is if you know, you know, Bath & Body Works, while some of the scents might seem nice, they almost all have that little like synthetic thing, you know, like at the end where it's just like you can feel it in your throat. Is it just me? If it's not me, let me know if that's you down below in the comments. And one thing that's lovely is you can get just body mists in your scents, you can also get extruded perfumes, so you can get a much stronger scent. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this I actually got when it was in the last chance section. This whole thing, how many ounces do we have here? 4 ounces. 4 ounces of extruded perfume would be $14 right now, because in their last chance section, everything is in the extruded perfume concentration. That's a really good price, y'all. That's a really good price. So if I didn't say it, this is Sparkling Nights, and it is a dupe of Bath & Body Works Sparkling Nights. I'm not quite sure if I've smelled that one, but I love this, and I got it totally just as a blind buy based off of the notes because I love a lot of these notes. So we have freesia, coconut, sandalwood, and iced pear. So, you know, obviously from the label, you think like winter, and while this definitely does have a wintry vibe, there is something very springtimey, very springtimey. And you know, when I think like pear and coconut, those are two things that, you know, like the pear is definitely more springtime to me. Coconut, well, depending on how it is, it can really be like summery. This is just like creamier. The sandalwood, I mean, who doesn't love a good sandalwood moment? It's just lovely. It's smooth, but bright. It's juicy. It's super juicy, but it's not, I get where they say iced pear because it's not like tropical punch on a warm day. I do have one of those in here, so stick around if that sounds like something you'd like, but this is cooler fruits. I really love this, and it does last a very long time. I will say that this has also been a great like before bed, but not like a before bed, but refreshing. I don't know. I've spent enough time on this one. If you know, you know. And if you know, you might be thinking I'm crazy for putting this in a going into spring scent, but Rificat from Paris Corner. Now this, honestly, I know that this word gets thrown around in like the beauty space and just like on social media in general, but like I am so obsessed with this. I cannot stop wearing this. Like, listen, I have a lot of fragrance. I have a lot of fragrance and you don't need a lot of this one. And I already have a good chunk. I already have a good chunk on. Considering that when I first got this, I sprayed it and I was like, this has potential. I just don't think it's like really macerated. So I put it aside for like 4 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that. Jet's getting excited. I can hear him coming up the stairs. He's like, Mom's doing smells. So once I brought this back out, I was like, yes, it's finally blended. This is one of the sexiest, most confidence boosting scents that I have. The notes in this are elemi, pink pepper, and black pepper in the opening. That was scary to me. I got this based on recommendations, and I was like, the black pepper, I'm a little scared by that because I usually don't like black pepper in a fragrance, but it isn't really strong in this. I think it just kind of balances things out. The middle is saffron and olibanum, and the base is vanilla and cedarwood. So you get this very sexy, creamy, leathery thing. The spiciness really is just that very initial hit. Now I will say, in fact, Jeremy told me this the other day when I sprayed this, while this dries down a bit to something that's like, I would say softer and like cuddly, it starts out as like a badass. And it is a little bit, like I sprayed it in the room and he was kind of like, because, well, first of all, I think I oversprayed. Jamie, I'm seizing the day in overspraying. But like, I think that this is just lovely. Now this going into spring is going to be date night scent for me. And one of the reasons that I think that this is going to be approachable still is that creaminess that it has. Like it just has this like soft sexiness. It's also like a beast. Like you can smell this all day, definitely. Like a good 6 to 8 hours, I would say. Really a love for me, but definitely going to be more of like date night or going out to dinner or something as we get into like a little bit warmer time. But I will tell you what, when it's dipped down below like 50 degrees, I am like, ooh, it's a day for Rificat. So I've really been enjoying this one. Okay, another Middle Eastern fragrance. This one is from Lattafa, and this one snuck in at the end of the year for me. It's been around for a while, but this one I am so glad that I got. It's Liam. Also, people call it Liam Gray. So this I got because of the fig and black tea notes, because I love fig in a fragrance, whether it's creamy fig or green fig. And I just keep being really drawn to tea fragrances. I think you can find a million different tea fragrances out there. Like it smells different in almost every fragrance, but in here it is just so good. I think that this really has such a unisex quality. It is a sweeter, It's something about the sweetness and the creamy, slightly powdery. And I remember when I was hearing people say powdery, I was like, I don't even mean powdery as in smells like baby powder. It's powdery as in the texture of it. It's like dried milk. So let me just give you the notes here before I go all weird on you. So we have cardamom, fig, and black tea. So in the top, you definitely get that punch of cardamom. I think I said that it almost smelled dusty. Like it's got this like dusty, spicy thing at the opening. Then the middle notes are iris, labdanum, and vetiver. I think that iris really gives it that like creamy, powdery. It really is. It's like dried milk, not sweet, not like sweet milk, but just that like dry milk. Yeah. The base notes are vanilla, sandalwood, tonka, and patchouli. So again, we have a couple more like creamy notes in here. I think Jeremy wore this. I think I did have him try it and he was like, it was like, I think it really leans for me a little bit towards feminine, but if you like a sweet scent in a masculine way, this could go over. I don't know. This is just, it's like right on that line, which I usually absolutely love. So I think you could also layer this with other things to kind of like push it one way or the other. But anyway, I can't stop wearing it. I've been wearing it to bed. I have been wearing it on a day where I want something that's a little bit creamy, but not cloying. Like, you know, I like the notes in here, but it's not sticky. It's not like caramely or like mapley or like overly sugary. It's not overly sweet. It's just so balanced. I love it. Very creamy, but still fresh. So pretty much all of these, let's see, I can't remember how much the By Rosie Jane scents are. I'm gonna say that they're around 65. I could totally be wrong on that. I probably am. I'm not quite sure. I will have links, by the way, anywhere that I can find the best deals on these, because I know some of these are on sale right now, so I will have those linked down below if any of these sound good to you. But I think most of these are definitely under like the $40 range, but not this one. This is probably going to be the most expensive one in here. This is from Navitus, and this is Lost in a Dream. This was almost one that got away. It was almost one that got away, and it didn't, and I'm glad I sat on it. I was like, am I gonna snag it? And I decided not to. And then as actually I was talking about it in a video and I was like, regrets. So luckily there was another sale that came up that was actually better than the one that I didn't snag it in. And I'm so glad to have this. So this is the most complex, whispery fragrance. And I don't mean that you like can't smell it. I just mean it has so much in it and I get a lot of it, but it's not overwhelming. So I also just have to say, like, I love the bottle here. The whole experience is just beautiful. Although I also have to say, this, like, it's almost like glass that's been like dipped in a matte, you know, like lacquer or something. It's starting to chip right here. So not super happy with that. I don't know that I noticed that when I first got it. For the price, I'd want a pretty flawless bottle. So I'm a little bummed about that, but I love the scent enough that it's not a big thing. It's not like I'm wearing this throughout the day. So we have top notes of milk accord, orange, bergamot, and cinnamon, heart notes of fig milk, almonds, croissant accord, coffee, marshmallow, jasmine, orchid flower, and amberwood. There's more. Base notes of tolu balm, Madagascan vanilla, tonka bean absolute, sandalwood, oakwood absolute, and musk. So we definitely have a lot of those like milky, creamy notes. We have a little bit of citrus. I definitely get the jasmine in here, just kind of balances it out. You get the vanilla. A lot of times I'm scared if something lists marshmallow because it can just be that overly sticky, cloying. Ugh. I don't get that from this. I do, by the way, get the croissant. When I put this on, I definitely get that, like, not like a sticky sweet pastry, but just that like butteriness of a croissant. Oh, it's so good. I don't get coffee in the sense of like that bitter punch of coffee. It just this is just such a well-rounded fragrance. It's delicious. I love it. I'm glad that I splurged on it, and it is definitely one that, now Navitus actually lists this in their spring scents, so I do kind of wonder if this is just going to be a little bit stronger and maybe last a little bit longer when the weather warms up just a little bit, because again, I did get it in like December, I think. December? Yeah, I think it was December. So cooler, much cooler, much drier. So I am hoping that it like pops open a little bit more as the weather is warmer and my skin hopefully isn't as dry, but I don't want it to be too much, which is a great segue into the next set of fragrances. These are the ones that I was most excited to pull out and wear now before summer, because a lot of these I pulled out for that reason, because sometimes like here in Wisconsin, it gets way too humid and way too hot to wear something with a lot of kick in the pants in the summertime. And I know that I always talk about this, but for those of you who are just happening upon my video for the first time, as a working hair and makeup artist, like I am like this close to people. And so having something that is incredibly cloying, it would just be too much. So I try to keep it a little bit more on the like delicate side. I probably have a day where maybe people don't think that. I do try to be conscious of it though. So these are the ones that I feel like I can get away with now before the weather warms up. So I talked about a fragrance that was more like a little bit like tropical punch on a warm day. This to me is that, and this is In Love with Everything from Imaginary Authors. So I know that a lot of people probably consider this to be a summertime fragrance, and I do think that that's really where the brand like takes the vibes, is like a warm day, although Miami's going to be warm in the spring. It definitely was like Miami nights, I think is what they said. And probably in the spring, Miami is probably warm in the evening. This is just, it's a little bit too sweet for me to wear in the dead of summer. So we have raspberry, citrus pulp, coconut palm sugar, Madame Isaac Perrier, sandalwood, tropical punch, and stardust. So, and of course, by the way, the stardust note, you know, Imaginary Authors does sort of like a, you know, vibe of a story. And so they do put like, I guess I would say like emotional notes in here, stardust being one of them. So this to me smells a bit like Hawaiian punch. And I definitely get that coconut palm sugar. It's not sticky. It's not like syrupy or like caramely, you know, like that really thick sweet. It is a little bit lighter, but it's still more than what I would want to wear in the summertime. But in the spring, this like raspberry punch, I tell you what, 2023 for me was the year of raspberry, and it's not something that I would normally think about wearing, but there is just something to once the weather starts warming up a little bit, it's sunny out, and I'm like, yeah, I just want like those berry notes. This is a great one. I really enjoy it. I'm going to love wearing it, but I feel like once it gets too hot, it's our love affair is going to be over for the year. So I got to use it now. Now I will pop a couple links of this one down below, because this one I think runs about $60, but I've seen it for like half off at certain like retailers. So I will have this one linked down below. I did get a really good deal on this one through Ipsy. This is Memoir Archives Destination Unknown. So this is also going to be great in the summer, but I wanted to pull it out now because this is just like, this is the scent of, okay, you know, those first couple days, the sun is out, you've got a little bit of breeze, but it's not like hella windy. And you just feel like, oh my gosh, I made it through winter. Here we go. Like we've got the sun out. It's coming. We did it, y'all. Let's adventure. That's exactly what this scent is. And I do think this is going to be a great one for spring and summer, but it holds its own right now. Like I wore this in the wintertime a couple times and I could definitely smell it. I don't think it was as long lasting through the winter, but it's just happiness. It's happiness and hope. So this has notes of California poppy, agave nectar, and desert marigold. It's just sunshine, happiness in a bottle. And it's, let me tell you, when you live somewhere where winter is like, feels like it's like 5 months, you're ready for happiness in a bottle. Okay, let's talk a couple florals. So I would not necessarily have ever considered myself a floral fragrance wearer. What actually got me curious about wearing more fragrances that have floral notes in them is my fiance. So Jeremy loves a girly floral fragrance on me. Like he I think that's just like his idea of like just sweet and sexy, you know what I mean? So I've definitely tipped into florals more. This is one that I tried out and I was like, there's something so unique about this. I love it. I never would have thought that it would be something that I would love. I honestly, I think I only tried it because it was in a discovery set, but I fell in love with it and I'm so glad that I have it. So this is Rose from Ellis Brooklyn. Now, I am not sure what is going on, but I have seen this one go on sale a couple times now, and right now the large size is out of stock on the brand website, but I see it's on sale on Sephora. I've also seen it in like TJ Maxx, Marshalls. So I don't know if this is one that they're slowly phasing out or if it's just out of stock right now, because it did say like notify me when it's back or whatever. But if you like rose, I mean, obviously it's called rose. You have to like rose, but there is something to this. If you like citrus and rose, you're probably gonna love this one. There is also something a little bit soapy to this, like showery, like fresh, but I always say like anything that's too citrusy, if it just goes like cleaning products on me, a lot of freshies just smell like I just dipped myself in like Pledge or something, like, and I'm not all about that life. So I do really like this one. The top notes are Sicilian lemon, cassis, and pear. The mid notes are lotus blossom, peony, centifolia, rose petals. The dry down is cashmere woods, spring musks, and vanilla orchid. So to me, this is just roses on a cool breezy day. You definitely get a lot of the lemon, like, which normally it would scare me. It would like if I saw these notes and like lemon is like boom right away, I would not even consider like trying this on. But the freshness and the citrus is that burst at the beginning, and then this does dry down into just a beautiful floral. I mean, it's a floral, what can I say? But I do really enjoy this one. It is a bit on the stronger side. Like, I think for me, a rose scent like this is definitely like winter and spring. I mean, you could wear it in the fall, but I just don't think about wearing like a strong floral in the fall. So for me, this is a winter and spring, and by the time summer comes, I'm gonna have to put this one away again. So pulling it out now. By the way, it might look like I haven't used much of this. It's because I got my first one in a travel size and it has like yay much left in it. In fact, I might have just used it up the other day. So that is why I have this one so full. Okay, another one that's on that floral note. So this is Exit the King from Etat Libre d'Orange. This one is a tricky one. So it is lovely. The reason I put this in here is I need to get my use out of this now because it is quite strong. I don't know if it's just quite strong on me, but it is very, very strong. And I don't remember that. When I tried it the first couple times, I don't remember it being so strong. I don't know if it maybe macerated because I did get the, I got the Eldo like huge 40-cent trial thing. Maybe it's not 40 cents, but it was a lot of cents. And I don't remember it being quite so strong. So the notes in this are soap foam, pink pepper, Timur, jasmine, rose, lily of the valley, patchouli, moss, and sandalwood. So first of all, it's funny that they say soap foam. I do get the soap. I get that from this one. I almost feel, no, this one's more soapy. This one's more citrusy. This one is more soapy. I did look up Timur, by the way, and it is a pepper. So they say that it is spicy, fresh, airy, slightly salty, and reminiscent of grapefruit. I get that. Yeah, you get more grapefruit out of this. You get definitely lemon out of this. So I love pink pepper in a fragrance, black pepper not usually. I do like the pink pepper. Jasmine, the rose in this is, I'm going to say that the rose in this is less prominent. I don't know if it's the lily of the valley that comes out stronger in this. Maybe it's just that citrus punch in this. I don't know. I actually, right now, I feel like this is stronger than this one. Okay, so I literally sat here for a couple minutes trying to decide what the differences were between these two and which one technically is stronger. The citrus in this one makes it a much stronger burst at the beginning, but I think it also would make it a little bit lighter weight as it dries down. This one, I think it just kind of like goes on. And I wore this. So Jeremy and I decided to take a little field trip to our local botanical gardens, and they were doing something in their indoor space, like an orchid celebration. So I was like, this is great. I wanted to go and take some pictures for like watercolor inspiration. And I was like, what better to wear than a floral? So I put this on and I was like, Like I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed at how strong this was because once we were inside, of course, they had like the humidifiers going and it's so warm and it was too cloying. It was too cloying, which means that this is not going to work once it gets warm and humid. Now, right now, it is about 50 outside. I could definitely wear this one today. It's breezy, it's nice. I would feel like this is like a beautiful floral. I like this one. I just don't remember it being quite so like, ugh. So I have to get my use out of it now. I probably should have worn it more this winter too, but something so floral just isn't something I think of in the colder weather. But if you like a good floral, if these notes sound good to you, I would definitely give it a go. Like get a sample of it for sure. This is another thing about the Aldo fragrances. So I find that Etat Libre d'Orange really takes you on a journey with their fragrances. The opening, the mid, and the dry down are really prevalent. Like it is an experience. When you first put this on, what you smell is very different than what you get an hour later. So I definitely recommend getting samples of things that you are curious about because I've had things, I remember when I got that sampler, there were things that I tried on right away that I was like, oh my gosh, I am getting this one. And like an hour later, I was like, no, it's not for me. And there were also times where it's like upon first spray, I was like, weird. And then I was like, wow, this is actually really good. So definitely it's a journey. So, all right, let's move into something a little bit more simple. This one's very simplistic in the best way possible. I've talked about this one a lot. I used to rave about this one on my channel and then I just kind of like dropped off. So I want to give her her flowers right now. There are no flowers in this one, but you know, got to give her her glory. This is Juliet Has a Gun Pear Ink. This is truly simplicity at its finest. We have paracord in the top, Cedalox, also known as Ambrox or Ambroxan, in the mid, and then the base notes are musk. So this is literally, it's juicy. It's like juicy pear, but also crisp. Like this one is so interesting because, okay, I get crisp, almost slightly unripe pear from this one, whereas in Sparkling Nights, this one's juicier. This is more ripe. They're both cooler temperatures as far as like the way that they feel when I smell them, but this is more crisp. I almost get that like, you know how it's like hard to bite into, like it almost gives you like an apple texture if a pear isn't quite ripe. That's what I get from this, and it just is like cool air, cozy skin, and pear, and it's just lovely. And this one could pair well with a lot of other scents as well. Pear, haha. So this is a beautiful one to have if you haven't tried it. If you love a pear note, I know pear has really had its moment in the last year. This is a beautiful one to try, and don't miss out on it. It's been out for a while, and I think that sometimes people just want to hear about the new, but this is the good. All right, the last fragrance, the sort of like random sort of honorable mention. I don't want to say it's like honor. It's not dishonorable or honorable. It's just like I'm not quite sure how I feel about this one yet, and now is the time to pull it out. So this is Care Fusion, or I think they even said Care Fusion Lychee. It doesn't say lychee on here anywhere, but I think this is supposed to be a dupe from Paris Corner for the Kayali lychee, whatever. You all know the one that I'm talking about. So I got this right at the end of the summer and going into fall, I think it was. And I was like, I think I'm really gonna like this. I just didn't get to play with it enough. I love the packaging. And I'm not gonna lie, I would say about 50% of the reason that I got this one is because of how much I love Care Pistachio. Thought they did a great job with that. I actually prefer the Care one better than the Kayali one, but I digress. So this one for me, I'm just not sure. So the notes are top notes of blackcurrant, red apple, lychee, and Italian lemon. Middle notes are jasmine sambac, candied violet, and damask rose. And the base is sandalwood, cedarwood, musk, and vanilla. So there is something in this. And maybe it's the Italian lemon. I think it definitely is the candied violet in this. Yeah, I'm getting that violet, which makes it feel a little bit dry and a little bit like powdered candy. Like there's something to this that just gives me the frosting on top of cookies, and not the like buttercream type frosting, like the dry, hard icing. I've talked about like royal icing. I just don't know, like it starts off juicy. Like you get the black currant and the red apple. It's very apple heavy for me at the beginning. It's definitely that like crisp apple, but definitely not a green apple. It is really a red apple. But it just dries down to be so much more, I don't want to say powdery because it doesn't smell powdery, but it smells dry, if that makes sense. So I think I want to try cocktailing these two together. I think that could be really good. I also think that, ooh, I mean, any of these others, honestly, like all of these other spring ones, so I could see it being good with the imaginary authors, In Love with Everything, even to like kind of add a little bit more fruity note to the Destination Unknown. That could be really fun. I could actually really see going with Rose. Yeah, I mean, really, even the Sparkling Nights, I could see kind of cocktailing. So that's why I wanted to pull this one out and mention it now, because if you're like me and you bought it at the tail end of like the tail end of a warm season, think about pulling it out now to cocktail it with some other things, because I love doing that. I think it's just fun to like find your own personal blends, and then it's like nobody smells quite like you, you know? Like you can find those little things. Although, if you have this one and you have this one, we're probably gonna smell like each other, because I'm definitely gonna give that a go tomorrow. In fact, I'm so sure I'm gonna give that one a go tomorrow. I'm gonna like leave a little note right here as to how it went. Okay, I promised myself that I would cut myself off once I started to get rambly, and we've definitely gotten there. So thank you for sticking around with me through this video. I hope that this inspired you to pull out some of your scents, or maybe there's something in here that you're like, ooh, that sounds amazing and I want to give it a go while it's in the season to try it. So again, check those links down below and let me know, what are you wearing? If you are in the Northern Hemisphere, tell me what you're wearing as we like roll into the warmer months. And of course, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, let me know, like now that it's starting to cool off, what you're like, okay, these are the things that I enjoy once it's not just like steamy, sweaty. I would love to know. I just really love chatting fragrance with all of you. So thank you so much. That is going to be it for today, and I will see you really soon.